That first one, first sentence, haven't I commanded you? Oof. I see it as like a parent say, didn't I tell you to? Our Father in heaven is saying, didn't I tell you to? Like, what you doing? Haven't I commanded you? I downloaded that into your spirit, and what you doing with it? You're holding up the process of not only you and your family, those who are connected to you, but people that are waiting for you to release the blessing into this earth. The time is now to boldly step forward, love with intensity, and embark on the journey to create the best version of yourself. Let's breach these barriers together. Hey, family. Welcome back to the BreEvolve podcast. I'm so happy you're back with me. If you're new, welcome. My name is Bree, and here we are all about motivated and inspiring to become our best selves together because I'm in this process with y'all, okay? Today, we are going to try to bridge this gap between procrastination and doing. We're going to try to get over that bridge, y'all, because I feel like we have so many great ideas and things that we want to do in our minds and our heart, but we don't always get to see the end product or see them come to life. We can do all the research, do all the polls online, do all, do things to make you seem like you're getting further along in getting that thing that's been put on your heart done. But in reality, it's just procrastination. So we're going to try to get to the doing part and out of the procrastination. And listen, I'm speaking from experience, okay? I know in the past I've done many ventures and I always get caught up by fear and get stuck in the procrastination stage. I'm like, okay, well, let me just do a little more research on that. And then my doubt will keep me paralyzed and I will never see what I have on my heart get done. I see it get done eventually, but on the timeline that it's supposed to be done, it's way too much time has passed. And I feel like I could have shortened that period of time if I just gotten rid of that fear. Not gotten rid of the fear. Fear is gonna be there. If I had just gotten out of my own head, basically. I was so led to explore this topic a little bit more because y'all know I'm reading my Bible. And if you're new, I'm reading my Bible and I'm following along this 52-week study guide. And I'll put the link in the description if you're interested as well, because it's really been helping me. But I got to the story of Joshua. So let me give you a little context, a little background. Joshua he was Moses's assistant. When Moses died, God gave Joshua the responsibility to take over for what Moses was doing, leading the Israelites to the land that God has promised them. And now Joshua has this big responsibility. So let me read this to you. I'm reading from Joshua 1. I'm in the Message version. That's the version of the Bible that I read. After the death of Moses, the servant of God, God spoke to Joshua, Moses' assistant. Moses, my servant, is dead. Get going. Cross this Jordan River, you and all the people. Cross to the country I'm giving to the people of Israel. And then he goes on to give Joshua instructions on how to get the people of Israel to the new land. So then we go down a little bit more into the chapter, the first chapter, and it says, in the same way I was with Moses, I'll be with you. I won't give up on you. I won't leave you. Strength, courage. You are going to leave the people to inherit the land that I promised to give their ancestors. Give it everything you have, heart and soul. Make sure you carry out the revelation that Moses commanded you, every bit of it. Don't go off track, either left or right, so as to make sure you get to where you're going. And for a minute, don't let this book of the Revelation be out of mind. Ponder and meditate on it day and night, making sure you practice everything written in it. Then you'll get to where you're going. Then you'll succeed. Haven't I commanded you? Strength, courage. Don't be timid. Don't get discouraged. God, your God, is with you every step you take. Then Joshua gave orders to the people's leaders. Go through the camp and give this order to the people. Pack your bags. In 3 days, you will cross the Jordan River to enter and take the land God, your God, is giving you to possess. There's a lot to unpack here, okay? And I just got so much revelation from reading this one chapter. So God spoke to Joshua. He told him what he needs to be doing, right? And then we see right after Joshua got right to work. He got right to work. He didn't stop and think, let me figure out if everyone will be on board. Let me see who agrees with it, who doesn't agree with it. Let me get another confirmation. Let me ask God again, are you sure? Like he didn't need to do more research or even check in with himself to see if he was ready to do it. He heard God say, do something, and he got right to work. Whew, how many times have we gotten a word from God and sit on it? I need another confirmation. Oh, I might just be talking about myself. I need another confirmation. I need to talk it over with some people, and then maybe God will speak through them. Like, if this is a good idea or if this is not a good idea. Let me weigh out the odds of how it will play out and see if it's worth taking the chance. Or I go through so much in my head that I sometimes won't even do the thing that God was telling me to do. It's so mind blowing. Like reading this and seeing how Joshua has so much faith. I say I have faith, but when I doubt myself and don't do what God says to do right away, that's not me having faith. And I had to be real with myself. That's not me having faith. That's me having a little bit of faith and then taking away the faith that I had once it seems like that might not be the logical way to go or the logical thing to do. I'm gonna just keep it safe. Uh-uh. Playing it safe, you will not get all of God's blessings. It's just not how it works. And we see that time and time again in the Bible. And these stories that I'm reading, nobody played it safe. And I don't want to play it safe. So I'm not playing it safe. Another thing that stuck out was how God speaks to Joshua and reassures him that he will be with him just as he was with Moses. He will be with you and I just as he was with Moses. He told Moses to do something, he did it, he was with him. He tells us to do something, he will be with us. Let me tell you his exact words. In the same way I was with Moses, I will be with you. I won't give up on you. I won't leave you. Strength, courage. Outside of the Bible, I'm not reading right now. You are going to lead the people with whatever it is that God gave you. You are going to lead the people to do great things. You're going to lead the people to their revelation. You're going to lead the people to open up their minds and spirits to see that Jesus is real. Jesus is King. You are going to be that person to get the next person on their way to their journey, who will then help the next person. You will lead the people, God says, to where they need to be if you do what you're supposed to do. That's a word. Then he says, give it everything you have, heart and soul. Oh, that spoke to me because, baby, when I would do stuff, this is so horrible, but I'm being so transparent with y'all. When I used to do things, I'm really good at starting things up. But then on the back end, my heart and soul goes into the beginning of things, starting up what God told me to do. Oh, I'm gonna get that thing looking real nice, and I'm gonna get it set up. And then when it's time to keep it consistent or sustain it, my heart and soul is no longer in it. It can't help the people it's supposed to be helping if my heart and soul is only in building it up, because the people are not going to be able to see the part that they're actually supposed to see, the consistency and the me showing up and the me that's building this thing up. I now understand that building something up, the end result may not even be the end result that God has for that thing. So me putting my heart and soul into it, I got to do it in the beginning and in the middle, and then it might go elsewhere. I feel like I don't even see the ending. It's like a reoccurring thing of life. Like I don't see the ending of the project that I'm doing. It may transform into something else. That certain project may end, but it may transform into something else. But I couldn't get to that something else without doing this first project. So my task from God, that's what I'm trying to say. My task from God is never ending while I still have breath in my body. So I need to give everything, each part of it that he's told me to do, my heart and soul. I need to put it into everything, because then through my assignment, that's where I will lead the people to where they need to be. And God goes on to say, and don't for a minute let this book of Revelation be out of mind. Ponder and meditate on it day and night, making sure you practice everything written in it. Then you'll get to where you're going. Then you'll succeed. Let me tell you something. I have actively avoided the Spirit telling me to read the Bible. I have avoided reading the Bible for so long. I couldn't even give you a good enough answer. My only thing was it looked too intimidating. I didn't do my research to know that there are other versions of the Bible. There's the Bible app. There are certain communities, certain things that you can go to get a breakdown of the word. There are certain things out there that can help me with this barrier of it being too intimidating. There is no reason that y'all should not read the Bible. There's no reason at all because I see that as an attack of the enemy. Oh no, it's too hard. Just don't read it. You can get your word from the sermons or you can get your word from reading books that are faith-based. No. I need the word for myself and I need to get my own revelation of what God will download into me as I read his word for myself, not other people's interpretations. I'm getting so many interpretations that I've never heard before from certain parts of the Bible. So I just encourage y'all to read the Bible because it is actually commanded by God to keep his word with us. Child, I don't know what I was doing before, but this is where it's at, okay? Go ahead and get your Bible. Start off slow. Get the Bible app. Get a version that you like to read. Mine is the Message and get that word. Then he goes on to say, haven't I commanded you? Strength, courage. Don't be timid. Don't get discouraged. God, your God is with you every step you take. That first one, first sentence, haven't I commanded you? Oof. I see it as like a parent say, didn't I tell you to? Our Father in heaven is saying, didn't I tell you to? Like, what you doing? Haven't I commanded you? I downloaded that into your spirit, and what you doing with it? You're holding up the process of not only you and your family, those who are connected to you, but people that are waiting for you to release the blessing into this earth. Then he goes on strength, courage, don't be timid, don't get discouraged. You know, it all sounds nice, right? Because these are things that we will for sure feel. So he knows that. But we got to keep God with us, keep the word with us, and pray to make sure that we will have strength, courage, and that we won't get discouraged or be timid when certain things come up. It's not all easy and a walk through the park. Like, we have to work for these things. So he's telling us on the forefront, I told you to do something. Be strong, have courage. I will be with you. He knows what we're going to go through already. We need to call on God and really tap into that, meditate on the word day and night, as he says. I know I need to get better about doing it so often because I will go a week and not read the Bible. Then I'm like playing catch up to try to catch up with my study guide to make sure I still make it in a year. But that's a whole nother story. Intentionality, being consistent with the word, praying, connecting with God. And then these things that you have in your heart will come into fruition. You will have these checks of confidence that will start to build up as you start to complete these things and get over these hard times or get over the roadblocks and obstacles. You will start to have one by one checks of confidence come into your mind and body and spirit. And you will really feel like, oh, I could do that. I could do this. I think I could do this. So right after God speaks with Joshua, tells him what to do, gives him the encouragement that he needs. And I need to say the encouragement that he gives to Joshua, that's modeling when God gives you something to do, he's always with you. He's not going to tell you to do something and then not be with you. We see it all through scripture. And yet he tells Joshua again, I'm with you. He doesn't have to say, I'm with you. He doesn't have to comfort him. He gives him the orders. He's seen how God was with Moses. He knows when you give him something, he's going to be with you. He knows God is with them, but yet he still comforts him and tells him and acknowledges, I know this is a big thing. I'll be with you. I still need you to do this thing, but I will be with you. You're going to feel these things, but I will be with you. So I just love how he models all throughout scriptures, the books that I've read, that he is with them all the time. If he tells you to do something, he will be with you. And that's just so comforting to me, knowing that God gave me something. He ain't going to just leave me out here stranded. Like he's not going to leave me out here to try to figure it out on my own or to muster up the confidence or the strength that I need on my own. Like me and God, we connected. We here, okay? And I just want you to know if God gave you something, y'all here as well. Like he's with you as well. Y'all don't you don't have to try to do it on your own or try to figure it out on your own. Stop and pray. You got a roadblock, stop and pray. Pray about it. God is with us. So after God gives Joshua the orders, the thing that stuck out to me most that really inspired this entire episode was this right here. Then Joshua gave orders to the people's leaders. Joshua got to work. Okay? We have so many distractions and noise and opinions from people that we don't even know that is right on our devices. We have so much noise that it can be so confusing if you really meditate on the noise rather than meditating on what God says to you or his word in the Bible. We will get a word from God. We will know in that moment it's from God. You'll feel it strong in your spirit. And then you'll be on social media, you'll be scrolling and see something that maybe go against what God gave you. Something that will say it's safe to stay here rather than do that. Or it's not a good idea to go into this field because it's so oversaturated and you should just, instead of doing this, you should do this. We will have so much noise to where you start to question what God gave you, even though you felt it so strongly in your spirit. You'll start to think, was it the enemy trying to get me to do something? Or is this the enemy right now trying to get me to do something? You will have so much noise and thoughts in your head that you'll end up missing out on your blessing. So I see this so much differently now. I see my assignments, what God gives me, what he downloads into my spirit as life or death. I am here only because God created me to achieve an assignment. When I started thinking of it like that, I have no time to meditate on what will sway my mind in a way that I feel strong in my spirit that God gave me. You got to know when you're open to being fed lies or being fed what your brain wants to hear, what makes sense. So when God gives me something and I don't exactly know how it will go or know that it's not like the normal route that people would take to, make a living or the normal way people will live their lives. If it's something out of the ordinary, my brain is literally trying to figure out the logical way to keep me safe. So if I'm scrolling on social media and I see something that goes with my doubts, I could think, maybe that wasn't really God that told me to do what I thought he told me to do. Maybe this is him right here on social media telling me that I should maybe not go that route because then maybe he won't be with me if it wasn't really him that gave it to me. It's just too much noise, too much confusion. Pray about it. If you're just constantly scrolling and not filtering what your brain is getting after you know you got a word from God, it's no good. It'll be self-destructing and you will be paralyzed literally not knowing what to do. And you might miss out on your blessing. That is a fear of mine now. Like with this mindset change, knowing that it's life or death. So when I say life or death, I don't literally mean life or death. I mean, it could be, but that's not how I think about it. I think my blessings to living my best life, abundantly free, the way when I close my eyes and envision my best life, I feel like that's only connected to following the commands that God gave me and also more life to those connected to me. I fear missing out on my blessing because I get so paralyzed in the procrastination stage that my blessing will be passed on to someone else to do. Like my assignment will be that certain assignment will be passed on to somebody else to do because I'm not moving when he's telling me to move. And when I don't know how it works. I don't know how God works. He has so much grace and mercy because let me tell you, I waited so long until it was certain things that I wasn't doing. And he was like, I'm gonna have to just give you a little nudge because you a little too comfortable here. So after having so many nudges, I'm like, okay, my assignment could have been passed on to somebody else. So that's what I think. My gifts he gave to me, he can easily take them away. And that's what I think. So the moral of the story is to read your Bible, get the word from God, and act immediately on what God is telling you to do. Don't wait and stay in that procrastination stage for too long. You'll know when it's procrastination, when you know you done read enough, you done researched enough, and you're just stopping at the point where you need to put yourself out there. Put yourself out there and ask for God. God got you. Let me leave you with this. God's words. Haven't I commanded you? Strength, courage. Don't be timid. Don't get discouraged. God, your God, is with you every step you take. If you need to write that down somewhere and put it wherever you do your work, put it on your phone, put it as your wallpaper, put it somewhere where you know you work on your craft, wherever it is. If you need to write that down because we got work to do, y'all. We got work to do, and you done researched enough, okay? It's time to get to work. Sorry, I went mommy mode on y'all. But we in this together, okay? We gonna get this done, whatever it is. And let me know what y'all working on. Y'all can email me at BreEvolve@gmail.com. I also put that in the description. But let me know what y'all working on. And if y'all email me, don't think I'm not gonna email y'all back checking on how that thing that y'all working on is going, okay? Email me, ask me how my stuff is going. Listen, we need some accountability partners that'll work. But I love you guys, and I hope y'all have a beautiful, intentional day. See ya.